Hi. What am I doing? Today I already have on my foundation. I did my brows. I'm just going to be doing a quick eye look, like more of a smoky but still wearable everyday look. Yeah, so just keep watching. I am going to be using more of a cool tone palette today because why not? So this is my Morphe Matte Essentials, but the cool tone one, does it have a name? It says Artistry Palette, but oh, I see, 18CT, 18 cool tone, whatever. There's a lot of really pretty shadows here. So yeah. One thing that I've been doing lately that I really like the look of is doing blush first on my eyes. So that later when I apply my blush, everything blends together like really seamlessly. I like that look a lot. So I'm just using this Makeup Geek blush. I've had this for a really long time. Just taking a little bit on a blending brush, and I'm gonna start that in the crease and kind of go up and out with it. So it's just like a nice wash of blush. The lighting might change a little bit because I'm using just natural sunlight today. Whatever. It's a beautiful day outside. It's finally almost spring. It's finally warm. And there goes the sun again. If you are new to makeup, I'm just using a blending brush. So this is something that is kind of tapered towards the end or towards the top, and it's a little bit fluffier. It's going to help to blend everything out seamlessly. Yeah. I'm just going to do a touch more here. I also like the blush with the cool tones because it kind of gives it, I guess, a sense of warmth. Even though this isn't like a warm pink, it's just kind of like, you know, when you use blush, you get that like flush in your skin. I just think it looks nice. Yeah, so I'm going to use that same brush, and then I'm going to go in with this one here. It's kind of like a mid brownie gray color. Just tap it a few times, tap off the excess, and then that's going to go in the same place. I'm just going to keep it a little bit lower than I did the blush. So I'm not really taking it as high up when I'm blending out. I'm just staying right here in the crease. And I start off with a really tiny amount, and then I just kind of add as I go. And then some blending techniques, so just back and forth, like windshield wipers, back and forth, and then also circular motions to really get everything blent. Blent. This lighting is challenging me. It's been a while since I've done a talk-through tutorial. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Whoever is here, whoever is watching, thank you. I just felt like I needed to get back into doing makeup, so here I am. It's something that I've always loved, and I'm trying to do more of what I love lately, because that's what life is about, really. Okay, now I'm going to find a different brush. Okay, so this brush is a little bit wider, a little bit flatter than the one that I had before, and I'm going to use this to pack on some color in the outer corner here. But it is still kind of fluffy, so I can blend with it. And let's see, what color do I want to go with? Let's try this one here. It's like a grayish. Grayish. No, I don't want to do that one. I'm going to do the next one right here. It's a little bit warmer than the other. Yeah. Not me being scared of cool tones. So I'm just going to tap a little bit and then place it on just the outer corner here. Pressing it on. I'm not doing any kind of blending just yet. And then once it's on, I do like to gently go back and forth and start blending it onto the lid and then into the crease. And if you lose a little bit of pigment when you do that, you can always add, but we can't take away, so starting off light is always the best way to go. Boom. That's it. I'm being conscious of like maintaining the shape of my eyeshadow, so when I'm placing this here, I'm making sure that it's just on my eyelid. I'm not taking it any further out. It's going to be just on the eyelid and up into the crease. If we place this darker shadow further out, it's going to draw the eye down. Unless I was trying to like make a shape going up, it would just get messy. And I'm not trying to change the shape at all today. So keeping it on the eyelid. Alright. So now I'm going to go in with a lighter shade just to fill in this area here, like this part that's blank. So I'm going to go with the second lightest shade here, just on my pinky finger. Get a little bit there. I'm just going to tap it on. And I do take this all the way to the inner corner. Put most of the pigment on this inner corner here, and then you can gently blend into the darker shade. Sometimes I take like a clean finger and then I start to finger blend that way. Okay. Sometimes I do this. I don't normally, but today I just feel like highlighting my brow bone a little bit more. So I'm going to take that same color that I put in here on the brow bone just a little bit. I feel like it's more of like an old school technique to highlight the brow bone. Not that it's old school to do that, it's just something that like kind of has faded over time, I see with makeup. But there's no rules, there's no nothing. Do what you want. Yeah. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and work on the under eye. So I'm going to take that same shade that I started with of the brown, and I'm going to take a very small pencil brush. Did that in a couple times. And I'm going to try my best to stay just on the outer third here. I'm not going to take it all the way in because I do want to have like a nice bright under eye in this area. So I'm just going to stay here on the outer third. Start to blend that up into the outer corner here. So I'm going a little bit inward, a little bit upward. And blending down as well. Same thing on the other side. A little in, a little up. You want to be sure that everything is connected. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do my liner with an eyeshadow. I would have done a liquid liner with this look today, but the one that I have, it keeps leaking really bad. As soon as I start to use it, it'll drip and it just ruins everything. I used it yesterday and I got really mad, so I'm not gonna do that today. So I'm gonna grab an angled brush. I'm going to grab an angled brush just like this, and then I'm going to take a really dark shade out of here. I'm going to go with this like almost black, not the black, but the almost black right here. I'm going to tap that in a couple times, tap off the excess, and then when you're working with an angled brush and shadow, the trick is to just stamp it on. You don't want to drag the shadow because you're going to get lots of fallout. So making sure that you've tapped off the excess, and then stamping this on or just pressing it on. You don't want to swipe. And every time you go back in, tap off that excess. And just work in really tiny presses. I don't always take my shadow all the way in, but I am going to today, just for like that extra definition of the lash line. I actually really love using eyeshadow as an eyeliner because it's a lot more forgiving, and you can smoke it out a little bit. It's a lot easier to get your shape right, because you know with that liquid liner, you gotta be ready. Okay, and for the winged portion, I'm going to make sure that I'm looking straight on into my mirror, and I'm going to have the pointy end, like the top pointy end of the brush, facing my eye, and I'm just going to gently start drawing a wing out this way. And then I'm going to flip the brush around, match up with that line, and come back. And get a little extra. And fill this in. So at this point I am dragging the brush just a little bit. And then the last little trick that I do to make sure that it's really sharp is I'll just take my nail and go right underneath that wing and drag it out. And the shadow will naturally move with it, and then I just kind of tap off right here, or tap it in so that it's not like a harsh line or anything. Same thing other side. I'm going to face this way a little bit. Sorry if you can't see. The lighting is just easier this way for me. So something that happened on this side, and it might happen to you too, is that I got some of that darker shadow down here, like in the outer third. And that's fine. I'm just going to do it on this side too, a little tiny bit. And then I'm going to take that pencil brush that I had before, and I'm going to blend it. Okay, pencil brush, and blend that out just a little bit. Careful not to touch like the wing itself, just staying right here at the bottom. I'm blending that out. Also, something that happened because of the shadow being here, I don't know if you can tell, but it started to transfer down onto like the bottom waterline here. I don't want it there, so I'm just gonna gently tap it off. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish the rest of my face because I don't like to use my powder products after I've already done my mascara because they might stick to my lashes. So I'm going to do that really quick and I'll be back. With the same blush that I used on the eyes, I'm going to be using it on the face too. And something that I've been doing lately is just trying to concentrate it in this area only, not really taking it down to the apples of my cheek, and trying to stay near the eye. So I loaded up the brush with the blush, and I'm going to just tap a little bit there and a little bit here, and then start to blend out. And I kind of work on both sides at the same time for even distribution of the product. And I do take it like right up into my under eye, like right under the wing right there. And I'm just staying here. I'm not trying to bring it down. And I'll kind of like tap back into the temple, maybe up a little bit as well, but staying in that realm. And then a little bit on the tip of the nose, just to kind of tie the color together. Cool. And then I'm going to put on some mascara. I don't know about you guys, but I have like a specific way that I curl my lashes. Everyone has a different process. This is what I find works for me. I might be a little bit mental over everything, but it works. So I make sure my mascara is open. Okay, set it down. Get a mirror. Let's use this one. Get a mirror. Make sure that your curler is clean, so you don't want to have any kind of like shadows or any eyeliner or anything left over on it. And then you're going to kind of be looking down into your mirror and curl the lashes from the base, obviously. And I squeeze it 16 times. And then I hold it for a good 10 seconds. And then take a look at how it worked. I'm like, okay, cool, but I can curl a little bit more. I'm going to go further up the lash, so not quite down on the base anymore, more like in the middle. And I'm just going to squeeze and hold this for a good like 10 seconds. And a couple squeezes. And then I immediately go in with the mascara. To me, I think of it as like you just curled your hair, you got to put hairspray in it immediately for it to hold, right? So I never curl both sides and then do mascara. I will always do one at a time. Curl, mascara right away, and then work on the other eye. Yeah. And as far as applying the mascara, I like to press it in like this onto the base to just distribute the mascara as best as I can. And then I take my time combing it through. meaning like I'm going to make sure there's no clumps. I'm going to go slow as I comb this through. And that's where the length is achieved. So first applying it and saturating the lashes, and then pulling it through and working it to the ends of the lashes. And I like to achieve a little bit of like a winged lash. And so I'll kind of go into the end ones right here and apply a little extra onto the ends. But I don't like a clumpy lash, so I gotta work it through. And then a little on the bottom, of course. And then now I'll go in and do the other side. Same thing, right at the base. I'm gonna squeeze 16 times. I'm laughing because it's ridiculous that I count it, but it might make sense to you. It makes sense to me. If anyone was wondering, this mascara is CoverGirl Uncensored. I love this mascara. It's mostly like they used to have one called Exhibitionist. I think it was like in a silver tube. This is basically the same thing, just repackaged. Because I loved that mascara. It was so good. But this one is as close as it can get. Today I want a little bit extra definition on my lower lashes, especially like in here, because I left it really blank with the eyeshadow and brighter, so I kind of want more lash here. So I'm just gonna go a little extra in that inner area because they're gonna show up really well. I love that. It's like a baby doll look. Yeah. Cool. Okay. And then I'm going to put on a little bit of highlighter, which is what I was holding right here. This is a Jaclyn Cosmetics RIP highlighter. It's like one of those jelly ones. So I tap a little bit onto my ring finger, and then I will like rub it into my hand to even it out. Otherwise it's kind of clumpy. And then I just tap to the high points. Get a little extra. Make sure it's not clumpy. And I take it up like to the brow bone and in here. Just concentrating right there. And then I always do a little bit on the tip of the nose here, the bridge. And then a little bit above the Cupid's bow. That's my favorite place to put it. Sometimes I've put this highlighter around the eyes, but because it is like a creamy consistency, it starts to run and get kind of smeary around the eyes, so it's not really a good idea, but it looks good right away, or like initially it looks really good, but it just gets yucky over the course of the day. I need to go get my lip products. I'll be back. And for the lips, I'm just gonna do some chapstick. My lips have been dry. Hate that. Then I'm going to take a lip liner. This is a NYX lip liner in the shade Brown to define the lips. I could leave it at just like that. I always like how it looks to just do chapstick and lip liner, but I have this really cute, what is this, Milani Fruit Fetish lip oil. This is the one in the shade 160, Lychee Nectar. It's lychee. So I'm going to put that on top. Bam. And that's the finished look. I hope you guys like it. I hope it was easy enough for you to follow along. I really enjoy doing eyeshadow looks and different things, so if you guys have any ideas or you have any kind of suggestions of what you would like to see from me, let me know in the comments down below. It feels cool to be on YouTube again, and hopefully I start to get some interaction and maybe grow this channel a little bit more. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!